Okay, so we're going to go ahead and check out the New World presentation that came out a couple hours ago. This is about 18 minutes long. And I guess the quick little snippet I'll say about this is Amazon's first MMO, and it's already been delayed like 2 or 3 times. Several months ago, I mean, at this point, I think it was like September or something last year, they actually let a bunch of streamers stream it, and it didn't really get good reviews, like very mixed reviews. And so that's why they delayed it. They wanted to like redo a bunch of the systems and stuff. And so now they're here out with this presentation showing it off again. And it's supposed to come out later this year. I think it's got a release date, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head. So for those who are big into MMOs, let's see what this is all about. Here we go.
Haunted wilderness of Eternum, a mysterious island set in the twilight of the age of exploration. There's going to be massive siege battles and thrilling supernatural invasions, all of this in the midst of a stunning and diverse island. Before we go any further, I'd like to give you a little bit of background on the island, the characters, and what to expect while you're navigating Eternum. You start your journey as the navigator aboard a ship destined for Eternum, who survives a terrible crash and awakens to a strange new world.
How many games start out like that? You're on a boat, the boat crashes.
You find yourself immortal, but you quickly learn there are fates far worse than death. The humans of this lost continent are in a constant struggle against themselves and a threat growing in power, the corrupted. Eternum is a supernatural island with an eternal conflict that causes shifts in its balance of power. The corrupted, the lost, and the angry earth are in a constant struggle for control. This conflict is at the root of our universe. Over the last century, the pendulum has swung in favor of the corrupted with the rise of the Tempest, the architect of an apocalypse that seeks to unmake life here and target the old world next. Only you, the player, are capable of uniting the warring human factions to face your common enemy that is hell-bent on taking over the world. There's a mixture of main story quests and side quests that lead the player on their journey through Eternum, where the central question is,
I want to be that chef.
The price of eternal life. On your adventures, you'll meet characters who have adapted, struggled, and succumbed to the power of this place. You'll discover ancient secrets, make powerful allies and enemies, as well as learn that not all is as it seems on Eternum. Last summer, thousands of players joined us for a preview of New World, and they offered us a ton of great feedback. What we heard most was that players wanted to see more mid and end game content, as well as more opportunities for PvE. That's exactly where we focused our efforts. We're excited to show you some of that today. To bring more PvE content to our players, we introduced expeditions. These are 5-player instanced experiences that take you into the darkest corners of Eternum. You'll face extreme challenges, expose the angry Earth's hidden agendas, reveal the threat behind the lost, you'll dig into the mystery of the ancients, and you'll uncover more about the source of the corruption. Your team will need skill and coordination to overcome these challenges. Each expedition has unique mechanics, bosses, and loot, and each one has its own story to tell. We'll have 6 expeditions in the game at launch, and here's a look at a few.
That's a pretty low number.
AMRINE Excavation, the first expedition you'll encounter in
considering Outriders launched with 15.
AMRINE Temple. This is where famed archaeologist
and that's not even like a pure MMO.
Team have gone missing. Your party's going to need to venture into the depths of the dig site to discover what happened to them and to the ancient technology they unearthed. You'll encounter the Empress of Ebonscale in the Dynasty Shipyard. She's been building a fleet of warships and must be defeated for the safety of Eternum and the world. In the Garden of Genesis, one of our endgame expeditions, you'll explore the garden where the angry Earth are born. The garden has been infected with a mysterious blight that must be stopped before it spreads to the rest of Eternum. You'll need to face the garden's protectors.
You know, a gun class like that in an MMO could be pretty cool.
These expeditions are just a sample of what we'll have in at launch, and there will be much more to come in the future.
We've also added 2 new zones to New World since preview. First, we have Ebonscale Ridge, filled with lush wetlands, majestic waterfalls, and towering cliffs. It's a mysterious area in the northwest of the map, home to an exiled empress named Taiyang. A bright young woman once destined for greatness, the empress is now building an army of corrupted forces to reclaim her lineage and her rightful claim to the throne. REEK is a rundown fishing village overrun with brutes pirates, and the other undeads. Originally imagined as New Venice, the settlement was built on the submerged ruins of an ancient residential district, but quickly overtaken by the Siren Queen and her flotilla, capturing the remaining settlers of REEK water into her crew.
I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, chat.
Of course, a mysterious supernatural island wouldn't be complete without some villains. One of the most recognizable faces in New World is that of the red-eyed woman wearing a glowing amulet.
It's basically
as she
Sylvanas.
overlooks the island. As you may have already guessed, she is one of the most challenging enemies you will encounter in Eternum. Her name is Isabella. Countless warriors have tried to seize the amulet from the heart of the land, but every time they were overmatched by the corrupted and the island's powers and turned into the corrupted themselves. The Siren Queen is a figure that many will come to know after visiting the shore of REEK water. Much about the Siren Queen is yet to be revealed. I don't want to spoil too much, but I can say that she and her crew originally arrived at the island seeking to create a new land in which all people could be equal. And somewhere along the way, she lost her soul. So we'll leave it at that, and I hope you enjoy your first encounter with her as you explore what REEK water has to offer. In Abanscale Ridge, you will come face to face with a ruler like none you've ever seen before, the Empress. After fleeing her homeland and her
Looks like
envious
Dreadmaster from
half-brothers
SWTOR.
who sat her throne, she arrived in Eternum alongside her loyal followers. Now she continues to cultivate the island's power and transform her loyal followers into her own army with the intent of returning home to exact her revenge. When the first explorers came to Eternum, it was unoccupied. But over the time, the explorers, or what's left of them, have populated the island. Little is known about the ancients, but you will see evidence of their long ago existence on this island, and perhaps over time you will learn more. The corrupted are immortal and twisted servants of an ancient and mysterious force of madness and destruction. The lost are soulless, immortal, undead beings, caught between life and death in an endless
I mean,
cycle
it's
of
cool
pain
they're
and
showing like all
torment.
the zones
From
and
the
enemies and
mindless,
stuff,
withered
but
corpses
really
to
we need to
powerful
know how
ghosts
the game is going to
drilled by
play,
elemental
crafting
rage.
system,
The
skills,
lost are a
classes,
constant reminder
that kind of stuff.
Eternal life still has a price that must be paid. The angry earth are pure expression of nature infused with the power of Ajax. They are wise and docile creatures, but fearsome and powerful guardians of the natural world when provoked.
Somebody just turned up the volume and it wasn't me.
Skill-based, action-oriented combat is at the core of New World. In New World, your positioning, timing, and aim all make a difference. And our classless combat system means the weapons you choose will define your playstyle. As you use a weapon, you'll begin to master it. And you can further customize your weapon by choosing which abilities you want to specialize in. You can also select from a variety of passive benefits that affect the tactics of combat. At launch, we'll have 11 weapon types, including our newest addition.
So 11
the
classes,
Ice, which harnesses the elemental power of ice for powerful magic attacks. The weapon options in New World are especially interesting because of the Age of Exploration setting. Gunpowder has emerged, but it hasn't yet become dominant. So New World offers a great mix of melee weapons, ranged weapons, and magic weapons. As Scott mentioned, expeditions are designed for groups of 5 players. Teamwork will be required to make your way through, solving puzzles and battling challenging bosses. When you enter an expedition, you'll want to make sure you have a healer who can restore your party's health, and a tank to hold aggro and control the flow of battle.
Holy Trinity,
and some
all right.
friends ready to quickly dispatch the enemies. And don't worry, New World still has all the PvP that players have come to know and love. Whether you're challenging a rival in a duel, competing in a 20v20 outpost rush, or jumping into an all-out 50v50 war, or just enjoying some friendly combat in the open world, there are plenty of opportunities to test your mettle against other
50v50, huh?
I hope you've enjoyed getting
Can
a
I get
closer look
above
at
60 FPS
expeditions
in
and
that?
some of the other new features in New World. Our closed beta will begin on July 20th. You can pre-order to secure a spot in the closed beta or sign up at our website, newworld.com, for a chance to get in. On August 31st, New World will launch for PC. The launch is just the beginning. We have a lot
Does
of
it
plans
get
for
delayed
future
again?
content that we think you're going to love. We'll share more on our post-launch roadmap later this summer. Before we wrap up today, I'd like to thank those of you who joined us in the alpha or preview. Your feedback has helped us shape New World, and we want to keep hearing it. Together, we can make Eternum a place that you won't want to leave. We can't wait to see you there.
Wait, this is like half over. What's going on here? Oh, there's a Q&A. All right.
Hey guys, it's Jeff Keighley. And
Dang it,
I am
Jeff Keighley,
here
you're
at
everywhere.
Amazon Games in Irvine with Scott. It's good to see someone in person and do one of these interviews. We're fully tested, and I gotta say, you guys have been testing this game for a number of
good
years,
transition.
working on it and building it. And I first wanted to start by asking you, what has kept the team motivated through all these years? I know this past year has been so challenging to make games, and you guys had a lot of players in it last summer, have been building on it. What's kept you going all these years?
First off, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
It's great to see you. There's been a lot of things that have kept us going. We love the lore. We love the story of Eternum. We love to just be able to tell that story. But for the last year, it's been watching the players play the game, reading the feedback, engaging with them, and trying to understand, where they want us to take the game and how we can get it there. So when the team's in the forums or in the game and chat, watching and talking to players, it just pumps us up. It's fun. It helps us.
Well, these games are obviously built with the audience, and exactly last summer it was great to have all those players in there. As you said today, you guys have been building a lot more
Yeah, after
content,
last summer, we had to delay it a
refining
year.
aspects of the game. From a top level, like New World, what do you hope it adds to the MMO genre? Like, it's an amazing genre. There are fans that don't just spend tens of hours; they spend hundreds of hours in these worlds. What are you hoping this game adds to the canon of MMO games?
Well, I think there's a few things. One, we're building this beautiful world, and I think our graphics bring a different dimension
Camera
to the
adjustment.
MMO genre. They're a little more realistic,
Oh.
and it helps us
Stop
with
it.
the storytelling that we're trying to tell from about Eternum in this time generation.
Yeah.
But the combat is the big differentiator. You bring that modern graphics in with the action combat, and it creates a whole experience that you can just get lost in.
And this setting for the game is so beautiful, but also so unique. Take us back to kind of the genesis of this project and New World and this setting. How did it come about? How did you guys land in this? Because this is brand new IP, big decision about where you were going to set this game. How did that come about?
Well, we love the idea of the age of exploration. We always say it was the last gasp of the sword and shield and the first breath of the musket or the gunpowder.
Yeah.
So we thought that was a really cool time period, and we wanted something around there. And when we came up with the idea of an island lost in time, Eternum, and thinking about all the different visitors that could have come there through the years, chasing immortality, not realizing what they were really going to
I
get
got it,
with
chat.
it,
An
and how
island
we could
lost
tell
in
that story
time.
on an island, we all
A
just
bunch
kinda
of
fell in love.
female Amazons that are like immortal.
It's an amazing setting, and I know how hard the team has been working over these years to build this game. Last year, you had a lot of players, as you mentioned, in the game, and you've been building it based on their feedback. And you talked a lot about, in the video today on the sort of mid to end game content, how you've been adding a lot to that. I'm curious overall, though, from sort of a macro level, like how has the game changed in the past year based on player feedback?
Yeah, for sure. So outside of the big changes we've talked about, all the new content, we really took to heart a lot of the feedback we heard in the preview. Spawning systems. So in the game first, when players were playing on the beach, there was all kinds of issues with not enough enemies, this and that. We've revamped the spawning system. Combat. There was people didn't like as many of the interrupts as we had. People thought there was too many different weapons you could have equipped at once. They wanted a little more differential in the combat trees. So we've done a full revamp on mastery. And then crafting. We've done a complete overhaul on crafting. We've added a lot of depth. You can now craft end-game materials right that compete with stuff you can find in the world. There's discoverable crafting ingredients, and there's just a lot more to do with all those systems.
Yeah, I love that this game continues to evolve. And one aspect that you've been evolving over the years is the PvP aspect. Tell us a bit about that, because 50-player war, I mean, it's like there's a lot going on there, 50v50, things like that. Tell us, what can we expect from a PvP aspect of the game? And I know it's opt-in to do that too, right?
It's fully opt-in. So
Yeah.
Our vision for
There
the
you go,
game is
chat.
to
Opt
create
in.
a world where PvP and PvE not only coexist, but they complement each other. That starts with the territory game, where you can own different territories, and that's decided through the PvP part of the game. Once you own those, you can set different rules for the territories, things like tax rates, or you get other benefits like.
Oh, did they
if you own
steal the
connected
node system a
territories, you
little
might be able
bit
to
from
access
Ashes?
storage or get fast travel. And then ultimately, anyone can choose to fight in the war, and that's an opt-in PvP as well. But we've also built the game with the PvE player in mind, and we want the PvE player to feel that they can have a full, awesome experience without ever ticking the PvP box if they don't want to try that.
All right, so something for everyone inside of this. And I know in a world this vast, there's a lot to build, and I love that you've
I think
created
Jeff
all
is.
this
I
additional
think he's
content
casting
over
a
the past
spell.
year.
He's just always.
We know that there's going to be a beta in July. People are going to get to sort of jump in again, get ready for launch at the end of August. I'm amazed that not just for this team, all these game teams around the world have been able to build games, in a work from home scenario. What has it been like for you guys to have, the alpha working from home and then building all this content? I mean, it's a tribute to all these teams, but has it been any different for you than normal?
Yeah, you have to learn how to communicate differently. You have to develop new muscle memory, as we say, or skills to do it.
Yeah.
But it's challenging because you lose out on those. You're in the cafeteria or the kitchen getting something to drink, and you hear two people talking about a feature they're putting in. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know that exists. That's so cool. How can I hear more? So you lose some of that, and you have to try to find ways to get it. But even like the other day was the first time I've seen a couple people in over a year. And you see people on camera every day, but you forget, oh, you're tall, or you're this, or you're different than me. And it's just been it's been a challenge. We've added a lot of ways to overcome it, but coming out of it now, which it feels like we are, I hope we are, I'm really excited to get everyone back together and
celebrate launch, hopefully in person, right?
Exactly.
Well, Scott, before we go, I have to ask you, the internet has certainly been talking about this game the past few weeks in relation to the idea that is it a pay-to-win game, and fans that have invested time in this in the alpha or will be investing time in this year, I think want to feel like they really can earn their way to the end, and no one's going to be able to sort of artificially accelerate their way to a lot of the other content. What can you tell us about that? How are you guys approaching this concept?
Well, we've tried to be as transparent as we can with the players, and we continue to do that. So with that in mind, we're going out and we're building a game that has a very level playing field. That is super important to me. It's super important to the team. When we launch, we're only going to have cosmetics for sale in the store. Over the next several years, the game is going to grow and grow and grow, and we're going to see where that takes us.
And I will say, last year,
WoW and SOTOR, they all have boosters.
And they're just marketing events, and the game is kind of coming out anyways. You did the alpha, and then really went in and have spent the past year retooling a lot of aspects of the game, pushed it a whole year based on the community feedback, really, right?
We took it to heart, and I hope it comes through for everyone when they see and hear what we're showing. And like I said, we revamped the combat, the crafting, the spawn system. We've added all of this new mid and end game content, all because of what we heard from people in the preview and in the alpha. So yeah, we're trying to. It's really important to us to watch, listen, and actually absorb what people are saying, and then try to show that in the software.
No, and this is new IP from Amazon, studio that's just getting into a lot of this stuff. Like, I think it's a huge endeavor, and I think a tribute to you and the team that you guys have built this. And this summer, it's finally time. It's looking great. So beta coming in July, right?
July 20th, yep.
July 20th, and then release August 31st. So
for sure.
The summer of New World after many, many years. And I know it hasn't been easy this past year, especially to develop the game. So thanks to you and the team for inviting us in, although all the teams at home, you and I are hanging out here, but they're working hard, and we can't wait to check out the game, New World. Thanks again, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, a couple things about this. As far as I am aware, Amazon has yet to release a successful game. As somebody mentioned in chat, Amazon has unlimited money, essentially. And so they can pour all the resources into this that they want. The problem is they've had, like, an idea for a game, or they've started building it, and then they cancel it. And they kept doing that. And then they're like, all right, we're going to make this studio. and we're going to make an MMO. No, not one MMO, 2 MMOs, and other games on top of that. So essentially, they're just, for a new studio, even though it's got the money of Amazon, they're just biting off more than they can chew. If you talk to any developer out there, they will tell you the most difficult game to make is an MMO. And the fact that they tried to do 2 from day one is essentially a suicide mission. And for those who don't know, the second MMO has now been canceled. It was actually going to be another Lord of the Rings MMO. So they are, and I think they are finally learning as a team that, no, you can't do a million things at the same time and have it be successful. So I hope between all those changes, the year delay on this, the player feedback, maybe this game's going to be good. But we got to just hope that Papa Amazon doesn't step in as the publisher and screw it up. Because, you know, they even talked about the cash shop right there. He's like, at launch, cosmetic only. But I know that's been a very hot topic for this game. And Jeff even asked, he's like, is this going to be pay to win? And he says, no, at the moment anyway. But I'm sure at some point down the road, if it is successful and they do expansions and increase the level cap, they'll probably do boosters like every other MMO. But they got to be real careful with that, because they will either launch this thing and it'll be a dud, or you can lose the player base if you don't do it right. So, yeah, I'm kind of tempted to go ahead and buy into it, or pre-order it so I can get access to that beta. On the other hand, I wonder if I just figure out who their PR person is and contact them directly, and maybe I can get in that way. I'll have to look into that a little bit. But I'm hoping it's good. I really am. I'm down for a new MMO at this point. I like the idea of a classless system, and you're like, all right, I want to play this weapon, and then from there you modify. I think that's a cool idea, because I know there's so many people that are tired of a standard hotkey MMO, whether it's WoW or SOTOR, you know, that type. I think people would rather see a combat system like WildStar or Terra Online, or something a bit more action-focused. So, in the end, when this comes out, I guess we'll have to see what this is. But yeah, hopefully they keep doing more videos like this. And keep showing more on it. Because actually, it's not that far away, because we're in June, so it launches in 2 months. When was that closed beta? July what? Anybody in chat remember? I don't know if I can find that pop-up card or not. It was towards the end of July, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't know if I can find that or not. But yeah, to your point, JT, I don't know how that's going to work. But yeah, if you have to be PvP enabled in order to capture the zones, if you decide, no, I will never PvP in this game, I guess the zone thing you can't do, and your thing is going to be like the expeditions and raids, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, visually it looks pretty nice. I'd like to see a lot more on the combat, though. It is kind of funny, like, some of the designs, like this creature, I think it's got a really unique and cool design. The environments look nice. But then, yeah, some of the designs look like they stole ideas from other games. Yeah, I think they're just trying to promote open world PvP. I think that's probably what it is. And it really, the whole like capture zone thing, I think we need to take a look at it. Because if you look at something like World of Warcraft, who's had very successful open world PvP, and they've done a variety of like zone capturing things in the past. You look at something like in the Eastern Western Plaguelands or something like Hellfire Peninsula, where there's literally like, okay, here's a PvP area, and within it we have like 3 towers. You capture all 3 towers, and that zone becomes yours, essentially. Having that zone doesn't really mean anything. So maybe it's just a super small little zone like that, or maybe it's something bigger. It's hard to say. The other weird thing is in Ashes of Creation, when you are building the nodes, as they call it in that game, that is much more PvE focused. Because building those is all about like doing quests, gathering resources, killing creatures, and whatever you do within a node contributes towards that node and then levels it up. But yeah, this sounded like, well, I mean, he said it was a PvP thing, but when you actually capture it, I mean, what does that mean? What does that do for you? Are you picking a faction? Did they say that, chat? You're capturing them for who or what? Are you choosing a faction? Or a side? And you're claiming it for that side? I don't recall a thing. Actually, hold on a second. I mean, even back on... I mean, that's literally like the corrupted versus the... Like, here's like the corrupted, I guess, and here's the normal people. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't understand what the point of PvP is. I mean, who are you fighting? I don't know. JT's trying to get me started on a tangent. I won't do it. But yes, the best open world PvP ever was Star Wars Galaxies. Because you're defending your home, you're defending your land. You and your people built it from scratch, brick by brick. And then the stupid Empire comes in and tries to steal your things, destroys your rebel base, and then I gotta go kill them all. Tangent over. You were invested. Exactly. Actually, something we could do here super quick. Just because I'm curious. Let's see here. New World. MMO. Let me get back here for a second. I was just going to look at their website to see if they had... Wait, what is this creator program? I might have to sign up for that. Anyway, if I go game here about... I don't know if there's any other info under here that... They might have... Wait a minute, wait. Okay, so here's the factions. Okay. So you're picking one of 3 factions. The Marauders, the Syndicate, and the Covenant? Interesting. So there's not 2, there's 3. The core of the social side of New World are the 3 factions, organizations, or like-minded player and non-player characters with their own motives and schemes for the island. Within each faction, players can form or join groups called companies. Your faction choice will determine who you fight with and against in PvP And can confer benefits for your faction company, control settlements and territories. Okay. Find a place. Actually, I wonder if this has been updated since the changes. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Player run market. So artisans and resource barons can carve out their own niches with the economy. It's probably not detailed enough for me. I need full control. Which it sounds like we're getting an Ashes of Creation. Action combat. Invasions, war. Actually, there was one other thing I wanted to go back to here real quick. Let me flip screens for a second. There was actually one screen in here. Where was that at? Where they were showing the weapon thing. Where was that at? I wanted to pause on that screen for a second.
All make a difference. And our classless combat system means the weapons you choose will define your playstyle. As you use a weapon, you'll begin to master it. And you can further customize your weapon by choosing which ability.
Okay. So we got company, map, journal, character, settings, game menu, time. So he is using the class or weapon of musket. And so it looks like you can assign 3 abilities. So it has a limited action set. And then each class has 2 subclasses, sharpshooter and trapper, which has a limited skill tree, it looks like. And you can also respec using whatever currency that is. Level 20 of 20, weapon mastered. So I wonder, can you change your class, aka weapon, on the fly? And then does it remember what you chose, I wonder? I'm actually, so damage scales with dexterity and intelligence. Are you putting points into that sort of thing? Is there like strength, dex, intel, wisdom, charisma? Is it, you know, that sort of thing? Wonder what happens if you hit the back button, because they're under character right now. So if you hit back, I wonder what the other sheet looks like. Also, there is a 143 right there. I wonder what the heck that means. Under map, there's like a highlighted 6. 143 under character. What does that mean? I wonder if that's like a gear rating. It's kind of a weird place to put it, though. If that's what it is. Also, I just noticed that this guy's putting points into both sharpshooter and trapper. So you don't want to specialize?
Abilities you want to specialize in. You can also select from a variety
Okay, here's a different weapon. Swordmaster and Defender, so that's probably a tank class, I imagine.
of passive benefits that affect the
If you hit a foe below 30% in health, deal 50% more damage. All right.
tactics of combat. At launch, we'll have 11 weapon types, including our newest addition, the Ice Gauntlet, which harnesses the elemental power of ice.
I wonder if they have
powerful
a.
magic
Do they have a
attacks.
list of the 11 weapon
options
types?
in New World are especially interesting because of the Age of Exploration setting.
Hold on, let me look
Gunpowder
here.
has emerged, but it hasn't yet become dominant. So New World offers a great mix
New
of melee
World
weapons, ranged weapons, and magic weapons.
weapon types.
As Scott mentioned, expeditions are designed for groups of 5 players.
Well, there's a
Teamwork
wiki.
will be required to make your way through, solving puzzles and battling challenging bosses. When you enter an expedition, you'll want to make sure you have a healer who can restore your party's health, and a tank to hold aggro and control the flow of battle.
All right, is this
And some
11? Hold
friends
on.
ready to
1,
quickly
2,
dispatch
3,
the
4, 5,
And
6,
don't
7,
worry,
8,
New
9,
World still has
10.
all the PvP that players have come to know and love. Whether you're challenging a rival
So
in a
according
duel,
to the
competing in
wiki,
a 20v20 outpost
bows,
rush, or
hammers,
jumping into an
muskets,
all-out
spears,
50v50 war, or just enjoying some
swords,
friendly combat in the open
rapiers,
world,
life
there are plenty of
staves,
opportunities to
fire
test your mettle
staves,
against
ice
other players.
gauntlets, hatchets,
I hope you've enjoyed getting a closer look at
And
expeditions and some of the other new features in New World. Our closed beta will begin on
shields?
July 20th. You can pre-order to secure a spot in the closed
guess.
beta or sign up at our website, newworld.com, for a chance to get in. On August 31st, New World will launch for PC. The launch is just the beginning. We have a lot of plans for future content that we think you're going to love. We'll share more on our post-launch roadmap later this summer.
Yeah, I'd say
Before
I
we
don't even
wrap
know
up
what
today,
I would
I'd
want
like
to play in a
thank
game
those of
like
you who
this.
joined us in the alpha or preview. Your feedback
I think a
will help
gun
shape the
class would be
world, and
cool.
we want to keep hearing it. Together,
Because you
we can
don't
make
see a lot
title
of gun
place that you
classes in
won't wanna
MMOs.
leave. We can't wait to see
At least
it.
traditional MMOs. Yeah. But yeah, chat, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. So yeah, that is
Hey
the
guys, it's Jeff Keighley.
the New World presentation. Hopefully the game is good. I definitely have a lot of concerns and fears. But I would say of the big MMOs, this one and Crowfall are kind of the two that are releasing first, and Ashes of Creation and Pantheon are sort of unknowns at this point. Maybe next year. Could be 2 years. Hard to say. But yeah, for those who are watching on YouTube, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.